So I'm in a spot where I've really beat up a lot. This spot right here, I've probably beat up the most out of any other spot that I've ever detected in my city. I've spent probably the most hours just in this strip right here with many different machines. I mean, back in the analog days, you know, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. This is one of the first parks that I really beat up, and I've spent a lot, probably over 1,000 hours just in this park, just in this corner of this park. I was hunting in this park before that top lot was even there, right? These horseshoe pits have always been here for a lot of years, a long time before I have, probably before I was alive. These horseshoe pits have been here. But I'm using the 271 version. I just updated it today. I was having a really good day on the curb strips. I mean, very good day. In deep high conductor. There's a screamer right there. It's not very deep, it's shallow. I'm in deep high conductor, just going to 31. Right there. A little bit deeper here. My plug fell apart on me because there's roots. Right there. Right there. Right in here. I'm right to it. There's a lot of burn piles here too, so it's out. It's another beaver tail or pop can tongue. So there's been a lot of commotion on YouTube about the Deus and the Legend, you know, comparing them to each other. And I have a lot of years experience, man. I have a lot of experience with the Deus 1. I have a few hundred hours on the Deus 2. And some people are saying that the Legend is almost as good as the Deus 2 in iron. Well, once you use a Deus 1 or a Deus 2 above a bed of square nails, you begin to understand the power of the Deus machines, especially in pitch tones. But the Note to Legend is coming out with a new update. I'm using this update here, the brand new update. I just updated my machine today, 271. Having some really good results in the curb strip. Amazing performance. And I have a lot of hours on the Deus machine, so I should really know this, right? I don't have a lot of years experience with the Deus machine, but I have a lot of hours because I hunt every day, all day. And I used the Deus machine every day last year, every single day, pretty much all day long. And really nothing compares to the Deus machines in iron, straight up. Nothing even comes close to it. But the Note to Legend, right, bring it on. The Note to Legend is coming out with another update in a few weeks here. They're gonna have a pitch tone option to it. And that's really pretty amazing. I'm really excited about that update, actually. I didn't know that they were coming out with this new update for the Deus 2 until this morning. So I've hunted a lot of hours in relic dumps and in square nails. Square nails are freaking some of the hardest nails to get through, man. A lot of people might say different, but the people who've spent a lot of time in relic dumps and in square nails, they know. They know. I'm just gonna chime in here just for a minute about that. You know, square nails are hand-forged nails. And when you look at a hand-forged nail or any hand-forged item, when they've been in the ground for a long time, the iron minerals leach out from that iron target, that iron item, into the ground. And if you take like a square nail or a horseshoe or any hand-forged item, take it out of the ground, put it up, put it on a table and let it dry out, and the next day all that stuff just flakes off it, right? It just flakes off it. That's what it's doing into the ground. And all that hand forged, because what they do is when they pound those that iron flat, or when they shape that iron, when they're blacksmithing it, when they're forging it, they're putting into layers, right? And those layers flake off into the soil, and it completely contaminates the whole area with iron content. And when you swing the detectors over there, over an area that has a lot of square nails in it, your detector goes batshit crazy, even the Deus machines, if you don't have your settings just right. So the Deus machines, I'll explain why the Deus machines are so good in iron. First of all, it has the pitch tones. And second of all, it has very fine increments of discrimination. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and so on and so on and so on up into 10, right? Then once you get to 10, it goes in increments of 1. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But up until 10, you got those fine increments, points, tenths of 1. And that's really how you can get through the iron, because you can fine tune that machine to discriminate those heads of the square nails out and all those minerals in the ground that are really messing your tones up, right? And messing your depth up. I'm not talking the Deus will go several inches deeper than other detectors in iron. A couple inches, maybe a couple inches. And it really matters how old the iron is and how much iron is in the ground, how many nails, and it matters how much ash is in the ground, how much charcoal is in the ground. You know, charcoals mess with all machines. And usually around square nails, you're gonna have some ash and some charcoal and a lot of minerals, a lot of iron minerals in the ground there. So the people who, you know, do these tests, open air bench tests, it's not the same as being in iron, right? Those are just simple frickin' tests, man. They're open air. You don't have all that leached out soil or that iron contaminated soil around those targets there. And what I'm more concerned, or what I want to be focused on, is stabilizing the detector in the iron. I don't care if it can hit on targets in the iron. Like if you put a couple nails, elevated nails, or just throw a bunch of nails on the ground and just throw a coin down there anywhere, you know, most detectors will hit it. I'm talking when the soil is so contaminated, and that's where you find the good shit, man. My best finds ever have been in iron infested sites. You got to dig a lot of the big iron out. It's another tip there for you. If you're in a site that you found some horseshoes or some relics near the surface and there's big iron in the area, beat up parks don't have any more big iron in them. Very few big pieces of iron, because that's the guys who know how to beat parks up. They're digging the iron out, because the iron, the good stuff is around the iron in the beat up parks. So if you're digging up iron, you're finding a lot of goodies. You may not be able to find it that same day, but next time you come to that beat up spot that you took iron out of, you continue getting more iron, and then you'll hit on a target that you missed because the minerals, all the minerals that come from that iron are masking that target because you miss it. And the Deus 2 has been getting through the spots where I've really hammered hard in the last few months. It's been getting through those sites really good. And I've had it in a relic program yesterday, and it was performing very well. I was actually finding coins inside my old plugs. I was finding some deeper targets too that my other detectors just don't want to hit, because there's so many minerals in the soil there in that beat up park, that small park. This is a lot bigger park here that I'm in today. But I just wanted to chime in on this whole square nail debate. I've been detecting for a lot of freaking years, and I've been in a lot of different kinds of iron, and that square nail iron is the worst to get through, man, for all machines. How good is this freaking Noaked Legend gonna be when it comes out with pitch tones? That's what I'm really freaking excited about it, man. Bring it on. That's what we're here as testers. We are here to make these machines better and to give critical feedback, you know, critical feedback. And we can be critical because because we have experience with these machines. If you don't have experience with a machine, please don't criticize a machine, right? Don't knock it till you try it, man, all right? And the more experience you get with the Deus machines, the more of understanding, the more insight that you have on how much power it really has over other machines in the iron. But when that Note the Legend comes out with that new update, I'm going to be using that machine a lot more, to tell you the truth. I already have a lot of hours on the Deus machines and the Deus 2, but I don't have a lot of hours on the Note the Legend. And once they come out with that 9-inch coil, what's going to happen? What is going to happen when all these new features come out with another coil? Bring it on. The competition is good. I think it's very good. We shouldn't be in competition against each other or try to debate stuff on YouTube, right? Just show videos of real live dig action in the iron itself, right? You know, these bench test things are very inconclusive. Even test gardens are inconclusive to the real world, man. Every site's different and they change a lot, especially when they have a lot of iron and iron content in them. You know, the moisture content around iron does some weird things to the soil, especially on hot soil like I have, really red, you know, clay. You know, see this clay right here? See the clay? It's like dry peanut butter, right? It's dense, so machines don't really penetrate through it very well. A lot of iron content in it too. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.